Hey, what's up, everyone? This is NitReg from nitreg.com. Sorry I haven't really posted anything the last few days. I've been having tons of difficulties with posting videos. I don't know. I just every single time I seem to record a video for you guys, it either didn't record the audio or somehow the video was gone. So hopefully this one works today. Right now, I'm just gonna four table Intertops 10NL full ring. I'm just gonna hopefully get in some few interesting spots. I also have a $4.60 10-man sit and go. At least I think it's 10 man. Or no, it might be more than that. It's 10 men. So first place wins $20.75. I like these sit and goes. I used to play them a lot back in the day, like 2009 or whatever, 2008. They're really good for building your bankroll. They're pretty easy. Some sites they run more than others, like Poker Stars they run all the time. Full Tilt used to run them quite a bit as well. Intertops has a couple going here and there, but they're not that big. Just call and set mine here with the pocket sixes. Unfortunately, don't hit it. I'm just gonna be giving up on this board. I have a gut shot and a pair, but it's just not gonna be good. So yeah, it was really frustrating because I made a really good video that I liked yesterday, but for some reason there was zero audio on it. It was really frustrating. I was gonna try to like just use the video and then record another audio over it, but it just wasn't working out. So I just decided that I was gonna make a new video for you guys. What I'm planning on doing for Intertops is just making kind of like a video series where I grow my bankroll. I've got my minted bankroll going right now. I just play on that grind. I don't grind too high because I'm kind of skeptical about putting money, like large amounts of money online, just because of stuff like Full Tilt. I have plenty of friends that have lost tons of money just because they went under, and I don't want my like a bunch of net worth like tied up with any one site right now. So I've got like 2,500 or so on minted, which is going all right. And then I just deposited like 250 on Intertops. I've been doing really bad. I've been kind of trying to set up the new like Hold'em Manager too, and trying to figure that out. So a couple of like times where I've just been running bad. A couple of times, I just like making suboptimal plays. Just trying to set HUDs up and didn't really see stack sizes and goofy things like that. But it was at 20NL and I kind of blew my bankroll down to like 150 or so, which seems pretty bad. But I'm gonna try to build that up and just go from there. This guy goes ahead and donks out pot. I think I can just go ahead and shove all in. Like if he has a draw, he'll probably call it off. Like I don't see him donk folding like that much money. So he ends up having top pair, and I should be good. Cool. So it's always nice to double up pretty early on in sit and goes. I'm still trying to figure out Hold'em Manager 2. Like I can't get the HUD pop-up to work, so I got to figure that out. And then another thing is I can't really move the HUD, like it's locked. I guess I can do it for cash games, but not tournaments. Oh, no, I can do it. So I'm not really. I guess the pop-up still doesn't work. So I don't know. I'm still getting used to it, but I'm really liking Hold'em Manager a lot. Hold'em Manager 2, I mean. Hold'em Manager 1, the HUD kind of sucked for Intertops. Like if you saw my Intertops review, you would see that I was all over the place on the tables. I didn't have a consistent seat that I was sitting in. That was really frustrating for me. That's like part of the reason why I was doing so bad. Is just like I don't know. I like consistency on the tables, so I can always see where I'm at and what the action is. But if I'm playing tons of tables at once, it gets really hard to try to follow a bunch of different scenarios. Like I don't know, it just flows so much easier for me. Um, it just feels so much easier for me when I'm sitting in the same place at every single table. So the HUD didn't work for Hold'em Manager 1 unless I just sat wherever it initially sat me. But now with Hold'em Manager 2, they have that all worked out. So I could sit wherever I want, and the HUD will always go to where my preferred seat is. So I put my preferred seat in the bottom, kind of like the bottom right. I don't know why, but I just think that's kind of easy to follow. Um, you know, it's just been really nice. I guess I just fixed it yesterday, but it's been nice since yesterday. Just owning it up with the HUD in the right place. So here I just called with threes pre-flop. I'm just trying to hit a set. The guy raises ISOs from the blinds. It's gonna have a pretty strong range a lot. Here I have an overpair. I'm just gonna bet 2/3 pot or 3/4, whatever it was. Just mashing the button, and I'm just gonna get it in. This card isn't the best card in the world, but this guy's a short stack, so there's pretty much nothing I can do but just bet call it off. The tournament here, I'm just gonna fold. I'm kind of a giant nit in tournaments. Like, you don't have to be super loose and aggressive or anything. Oh, this guy binked the nuts on me, so good for him. You don't have to be like super aggressive in tournaments. Like, I can be fairly aggressive in cash games, but in tournaments, it just doesn't really pay off that much. It's like a turbo sit and go. So I can just wait for a bunch of people to bust themselves out, and then I just play optimally in the later part of the game, where you just do push folds and people are really bad, and it's very easy to exploit them there as well. So I just kind of knit up and wait for that. And if I get a good hand, I'll double up like I did on that table. I don't really think that there's too much value on betting this river. There might be some, but I don't know. It's just one of those spots that I don't know. It seems that he might fold lower hands sometimes. He might he might have some higher hands where I'm just valuing myself. Probably not that many higher hands, but he's loose passive, so he's probably not going to be 3-betting that much. I don't know. It's just one of those spots. I think in hindsight, since he's loose passive and isn't going to be like aggro and raising and stuff, I could just try to do something like bet $1.60, like third pot or less, or a quarter pot, just to try to get like really weak calls. I think he's gonna have an ace a lot, or something that's kind of equivalent to like top pair no kicker, like kings, like what he had. So I don't know. It's just one of those spots where I hate getting value owned, but I think there is still some value. So maybe I should have bet pretty small in that river just to get some calls. Another thing that I picked up the other day is Note Caddy, and I haven't really got a chance to adjust to that yet. So I have that going right now, but I haven't really found a use for it yet. So this guy goes ahead and checks back this flop. It's pretty wet, so I expect him to bet it if he has a strong hand. He checks in the top pair, or the top pair of pairs, which is really good for me. So I'm just going to go ahead and bet and try to get value out of second pair, and he goes ahead and calls again. So I'm going to put him on a hand like a draw or a 7. He might have a 5 sometimes, but he's probably going to have hands like pocket 8s, 7s. When he goes ahead and raises, that's pretty gross. Like, I don't think people really bluff here. He does seem pretty aggressive so far, but I'm just going to go ahead and fold. It kind of sucks. But I think bet is by far the best play on that spot. It's just kind of sick that if he decides to raise an ace to blow me off of a chop or something, but I doubt he would do that. Check out this tournament here. Looks like a guy just opened and then c-bet and then barreled the overcard turn, which seems kind of standard. Seeing just stuff like this, like min raising and limping, I'm just not going to get involved with that. Oops, almost just open shoved. I'm just not going to get involved with that with weak hands like Queen 9. These guys are just knocking each other out with their wide ranges and, very high variance poker. I'm just really not going to get involved with that. I'm just going to, wait for premium hands, and then if they don't come, that's fine. I mean, these micro stakes sit and goes are so ridiculously easy. It's just straightforward, play strong hands, and, you just make money. There's some areas where I could probably exploit them a little bit better, but if it's a turbo, I think you have more value in just, waiting for a strong hand really early and doubling up because they pay you off so much, and, just waiting for the push shove mode when, you can play pretty optimally against people that don't know how to play that. So I called a min raise, which seems pretty standard here. I hit second pair, so I'm going to call. Kind of see what develops. He goes ahead and barrels. I pick up an open-ended straight draw as well. I'm going to call one more time and kind of evaluate. The queen is kind of a good card. This guy doesn't seem too aggressive, but the queen was probably like one of the best cards for him if he has a queen, because it makes it less likely that he has a queen. I'll look him up once and see what he has. So I ended up owning him. It's kind of interesting that he played middle pair like that, though. So that's definitely something that you want to take a note of. And then here I pick up top pair. It's no kicker, though. I'm just going to bet out like a little under half pot just to try to get value from any other random weak stuff that he might have. So let me go ahead and note this guy. Min, blind versus blind, min opened 9-5. I think it was 9-5 offsuit. Maybe it was suited, I don't know. Let me double check. 9-5 offsuit. So, I mean, this guy is probably stealing with close to 100% of his entire range if he has 9-5 offsuit in his range. Barrels down, jack 9, 7, rainbow flop. Oop. I'm kind of tired today, so my brain is dead. Jack 9, 6, and then 7 turn and queen river. I'm sorry, queen. Oh my gosh. So queen, I got one card right. So I hit top pair here. It's just gonna be pretty easy betting for value. Barrels large on 7 offsuit turn and bets big on queen offsuit river. Cool. So now I have a note that he's going to overplay his hands a little bit. So there's going to be times in the future where I'm just going to look him up a lot later. Just go ahead and isolate this guy here. I need to be careful. I keep clicking all in on accident. It's going to get me one of these times. I just know it. But yeah, micro stakes, full rings, you're just going to be isolating so much. There's so many fish that just like to limp and see hands. So, our goal is just going to be isolating a lot. Kind of a wet board. I'm just going to see bet. My kicker really sucks and I hit it, but, it's pretty wet. So I got to bet, for value. If, he has a better ace, so be it. I have backdoor flush draw. I have 2 pair outs, stuff like that. So one of the exciting things that I found out was I posted a video the other day for nitreg.com, and it ended up being 16 minutes long, and I was pretty sure that I could only post up to 15 minutes long. So I don't know. I guess I can post more than that. So what I'm going to do is make this video, try to make it between like 45 minutes and an hour long, and just one second. This guy doesn't seem too aggressive. His raise is pretty huge. There's not really that many draws, but I don't know. I'm going to go with it. Like, he's going to have a set decent amount, which is going to kind of suck, but I don't know. I'm kind of coming from a 6-max world where I'm just not going to fold kings, and wow, okay, king. Ah, yeah. So that's really weird that he played this way. This is something else to note. Limps ace ace pre and calls ISO from blinds. Raises huge to c bet on Jack 9 X rainbow. So I don't know, that's really weird. Like, I've been seeing fish on this site raise calling off with like open end straight draws and top pair, and it's probably not the best call or the best shove in the world, but I don't know. It's 10NL, so I feel like I have to call off or get it in wider, but maybe that's wrong mentality. Probably shouldn't be doing that. Pretty standard c-bet on this board, really dry. I have backdoors. Turn really sucks, so it's just check and give up. Check again. Hopefully he has like 7-8 and I win with king high. Nope. There's some short stacks here. I'm not going to really try to steal with Jack 9 seated because I'll have to call off the short stack if he ships. So that hand of kings versus aces, kind of a cooler. Like, if he played it regularly pre-flop, you know, he would have gotten all my money anyway. But he did give me an opportunity to fold on that flop. I think it's okay to fold that flop. I think it's... I don't know. I think if it was like a wetter board, I'd be more inclined to get it in. But I don't know. Kind of in hindsight, I think maybe folding is the best option because I don't know. I can't imagine people getting too out of line with just top pair against a, you know, isolation raise from the blinds. I think a lot of the times it's going to be someone that thinks that they have a huge hand. So I don't know. And he's kind of loose passive too, even though he seemed kind of aggressive post flop. I don't know. I guess that's probably just a fold. Aces, just go ahead and ISO raise, really standard. Get one call. Flop top set. I'm just going to c-bet. We're both kind of deep. I don't really expect him to continue that often as I have the hand pretty locked up. But, you know, just got to bet big and hopefully he has a hand and I can get some value. Playing checking and trapping and stuff is kind of goofy in that spot because it was a little wet, so I really don't, like, when I'm deep, I really don't want to get owned. I'd much rather, when I'm deep, to just value bet and hope to get a lot of money in the pot. You know, probably not going to happen that often, but the times that it does happen, I want to build a pot. If you slow play, it's more with the intentions of getting all the money in, but since, you know, you don't have that much money, it's going to be easy to get your money in. But when you're deep, it's going to be almost impossible to get all your money in ahead unless you start, like, building a pot. The 10, I just took a little half pot stab for value. You know, he goes ahead and checks again. I think he's just going to have like a straight draw or flush draw or something like that. And I'm just going to check and my 10's going to be good. I can't really imagine much value on the river if I bet. Maybe there might be sometimes, but I don't know. I just can't see it. Yeah, he had a straight draw, so 7 high. Here we go. So now we're getting kind of closer to push shove mode. There's 330 in the pot. And I usually, if there's like 5 times that or less for the effective stacks, I like to shove with a very wide range. Like this guy's stealing. He's probably not going to fold, but my hand's like way ahead of his range, so I'm just going to shove all in with ace jack suited for value. This guy will probably call off with much worse. Oh, I was wrong. Wrong this time. But a jack's going to spike, so it's all good. Nope. Well, it's alright. This guy goes ahead and min c-bets. I'll just call with ace high. I ended up binking, so I'll start bombing down and see where that gets me. He ended up folding, which is too bad. So it's interesting that guy min raise called off with a short stack with ace queen instead of just open shoved. You Ace 3 offsuit here is a little too weak, I think. I don't want anyone like limp calling off with Ace Jack or something like that, or like pocket eights or something. I hate getting owned by fish in these games. It's just it's just good to play like really tight, and I don't know. It's so easy to just like wait for big hands and hope that they don't suck out. You only have to win a couple of like flips and all ins and stuff. It's not that big of a deal. There's only 10 players, so you don't have to really push marginal edges. Something like this though, Ace Queen suited. My stack is like 5 times or so bigger than the pot, so Ace Queen suited, I'm just all in. I can't like raise and then call. That's just stupid. Just shove all in or fold. It's just very standard poker strategy. And, if someone has a better hand than me or they suck out or whatever, so be it. But this play is awesome. You just get so much money up front, and if they call, you have really good equity a lot of the times. Same thing again here. I got jacks. It doesn't really make sense to like, raise call and just like goofy stuff like that. There might be an argument for limping and calling to a shove, but I think just shipping all in might be better here. So I'm just gonna ship because I don't really want to play post flop. I don't want to limp and induce a bunch of other people to limp. So I'm gonna shove with jacks and hopefully I don't get owned. Sure enough, he hits an ace on the flop. Good for you for winning flips. And I'm still in the tournament. I don't know. Just people call it off really light. It kind of sucks at this point because the blinds are pretty huge relative to my stack, and there's the next hand I'm going to be all in anyway. So it's not even going to be for all my chips the next hand, so I kind of have to just take queen high, and that's probably as good as I'm going to get it. Just go all in and hope to get lucky. I was really crippled that last hand. It really sucks. So it's actually kind of good that this guy raises. It's isolation, so folds everyone else out. It's much easier to win heads up against someone than by playing a big multi-way pot with a hand as weak as queen 3, and all the money is pretty much already in that I want to be in. Like I can only risk up to $150 against these guys. Anything after that is just a side pot. So I kind of just want people to fold out of this hand. I hit a 3, so hopefully I just hit another queen or a 3. I think calling the 3s here isn't really that good, but given that this guy is loose passive and probably everyone and their mother behind me will call, I'm just going to go ahead and call 3s and hopefully something good comes out of it. So queen or 3. Nope. And it looks like I'm out of the tournament, which is too bad. I felt I played pretty well. I just didn't run too hot. Seems to be kind of the story of Intertops so far, but it's alright. I just call 3s here. This guy like min 3-bet, which is super goofy, but I'm getting awesome odds to hit a set and own him. This top left hand, I have top pair. Very easy to play this. I'm just gonna bet like 40 cents. I don't really have to protect against much, but I feel like if I bet smaller, like if he has an ace, I'm getting all of his money anyway, or he's getting all of mine, I guess. But if he has something weak, I kind of want to put all of his money in. I want him to like not fold. If he has like a queen or a 9, I feel like if I bomb it, he might fold some of the times, and I don't mind if I give him some odds to suck out. I just don't think that's going to happen too often. Here I'm just going to put the rest of his money in, and hopefully ace 8 is good. No, he hit the gut shot. Congratulations. But, I mean, as you can see, he's going to fold that if I bet huge on the flop anyway, and I don't really want him to fold that. I want him to continue with king high. It sucks that he sucked out on me, but I got him to do exactly what I wanted. It just, the right results didn't come out of it. It's kind of a wet flop. I normally c-bet here, but I'm kind of looking at this guy. I wish I had the verse miss c-bet stat for him. I feel like with these guys that are short stacks, they're just gonna like stab when check two in position a lot, and if he bets, this other guy from the blinds is gonna call a decent amount, and then I can come back over the top for a raise. It's just kind of a way to get some extra money. It's like if I bet and the short stack shoves, it's going to push this small blind guy out. And I think that this short stack guy is going to bet a lot of the time when I check to him. So I feel like I get a little bit of extra money doing this. I do run the risk, though, of him checking back and then it kind of sucking. Or, you know, if something like this happens, it's alright. Now I can just shove all in and, you know, he'll probably call off and I'll win. But, oh, he folds. Interesting. So, I guess he didn't have anything since he didn't call off. So, I got the extra bet out of him, even though both of them didn't really have anything. Maybe I'll load up another tournament and see how that goes. Oh, it looks like there's another one in the lobby. So I'll go ahead and sign up for this one. Cool. So I got right back into another one. This used to be my main game too, is playing single table sit and goes. I also used to like the 18-man sit and goes. And I would play the 45-man and the 180-man sometimes on PokerStars, but I kind of like the single table for some reason. You can just mass multi-table them, and they're pretty straightforward and fun, and you know, it was just one table, so you get reads off of people all the time. This guy just opened ships for 53 big blinds, which is crazy. I got ace king, so I'm just gonna stick it all in. Like, a guy's open raising range is just gonna be ridiculous hands. I mean, no one does this. And most of the time, if they have strong hands, they're just gonna like play it all trappy or raise, you know, a value size or something. You know, he has nines here and we're flipping, but there's so many times where he'll just have like goofy stuff, and I mean, ace king just crushes his range, I think, for shipping. You know, I think a lot of times we'll be flipping, but there's a lot of hands in his range that'll just be like goofy stuff. Like, I've seen people just open ship with like 9-4 suited and ace jack offsuit. Just, you know, it's never going to be like that strong of a hand if they're open jamming. I shouldn't say never, but a lot of the times it's not going to be. So I just call off and win a flip. Run good there, which is nice. So it looks like the cash tables, I'm doing alright for today so far. Tournaments, I'm kind of bummed out by the last one, but I have another chance here. It's not too bad. Here I'm going to set mine with the twos. He's just made it a min raise, so kind of have to. Here against this guy with the really wide range. He folds a lot to 3-bets, but, you know, whatever. He's a short stack. I'm just going to 3-bet, and I'm probably not going to fold pre-flop. That flop really sucked. Really sucks. I can't really bet here for value, so I'm just gonna have to check. King's not a bad turn, so it makes less combinations of stronger hands that he might have. I think that if I check back this flop, he might just decide to bet once as, like, you know, stab at it. There are some draws out there, so I feel like he could stab at it. Kind of sucks. I'm probably just gonna have to fold the river. Yeah, and he bets like 120. It just looks kind of value-y, like he wants me to call here. So I'm just gonna go ahead and fold. It's really bad flop. There's even an argument for folding the turn too. Like, I don't really know his barreling tendencies, so it's gonna really suck for me when he just double barrels his bluffs, you know, as I'm folding so much, and I don't really know if he's even capable of bluffing that board either. So it looks like this guy 3-bet squeeze pre-flop. He seems to be pretty aggressive so far. I'll go ahead and label him with my aggro stat. Uh, Yellow means aggro in Nitreg Town. If you're green, that's bad for you. Good for me. Regs are like orangish or red. And then I have colors for bad regs as well. Oh, not that they're bad, but just that I've found like tendencies where I feel like I can exploit them. I don't want to like call someone bad on video because a lot of the regs beat the stakes, even though I'll like call them bad, and they might even think that I'm bad. So whatever. I have second pair here. I'm just gonna fold, even though it's 30 cents. We got like someone donking out into three other people and then a raise, so it's kind of hard to see my hand as being that good. Then he goes ahead and bombs the turn, so he's probably gonna have a pretty strong hand there. When people blind versus blind just limp like this, I raise almost any of two cards just because it's such a weak play by them. Most of the time they just fold like that, or they'll call and then just check fold the flop. It's just like printing money. So I really like to do that. Here with the fives, I'm just gonna set mine. This guy's kind of deep with me. This hand here, the guy is short stacked. I'm just gonna raise him and try to get it in pre-flop with ace king. This guy's c-bets. I don't have enough stats to see if he folds to raises, but this probably, this is one of those boards that's not going to hit him that much, but I don't know. He's probably just going to put me on a lot of draws and get it all in with an overpair lot. Unfortunately, I run ace king into aces, which seems super standard at Intertops so far, but whatever. Pocket tens here, a bunch of limpers. I'm definitely going to be raising, playing this hand. Bump it up to 60. I usually like to press the pot button to isolate. I'll also do like 4x big blind plus 1 big blind per every limper. Pot is just like half a big blind less than that. So, it kind of depends. Like if I'm feeling like it, I'll put that extra little half big blind in. Again, this flop really sucks. I'm just gonna check, try to get to showdown. Kind of sucks because guys like this love to stab, and it's really annoying, especially on like wet turns like that. I guess when he min bets, I have to call. It's just kind of annoying though. I mean, like, what min bets and then, bets like this. I don't think I'm really ahead here. But he did, like, min bet, and then now he's betting pretty large. I'll just look him up this one time, even though it's bad. I'm, like, really curious. I don't know. It's kind of bad. I guess he has, like, two pair. It's kind of bad, like, at 10NLs. I just don't really take it that seriously. Like, that's a pretty standard fold, but I don't know. I just feel like I gotta look stuff like that up sometimes. So let's see, when I check, actually let me say this, limp calls is 4 suited, so at least I got a note out of that. I mean, if I'm going to do something that's really stupid, at least I'm going to get a note of it. I'm not playing my best today. I'm running off very low sleep. My brother had a basketball game early this morning, so I woke up super early, and as a poker player, we don't really have alarm clocks. We just kind of wake up whenever. So a little rough at waking up early. So this guy limp calls ace-4 suited in middle position. Checks 2-pair on flop out of position. This flop kind of sucks. I'm just gonna pot it, because I think I get a lot of value out of guys like this on these boards, and that's like the worst turn ever. I'm just gonna check fold now. Hopefully he has like king queen with no clubs and just checks it down, but nah, he bombs it. Good for him, he hit. So this one guy limps ace-4 suited middle position, checks 2 pair on out of position on flop. Then he min leads turn for value, bets 2/3 on river for value. A6. I'm gonna isolate this guy. It's probably like not the best hand in the world, especially at tournaments where people never fold. But I think I can play pretty well against these guys. This flop really sucks because I don't expect tournament fish to fold like gut shots and stuff, so a lot of his hands just hit that board. He like min donks into me. I'm just gonna give it up. I don't really see a case for like floating or raising or anything. I mean, tournament fish are just gonna they're never gonna fold. Like even if they're just betting out to see where they're at and stuff, like if you raise, they're not gonna fold, even though that they like bet to see where they're at. I don't know. I don't get their logic, but it just is what it is. I think you can limp some speculative hands like this if there's lots of limpers in front of you and a lot of people are playing loose passive at this table. If I hit something strong or a strong draw, I'll get a lot of money. And I'm in position so I can take stabs at it as well. I think that's all right. It's really kind of boring playing these games because you can't really. It's not like cash games where you can like raise and c-bet, and it's not like poker where you can do multi-barrel bluffs and all this fun stuff. But it's basically like waiting for hands or getting in really cheap, looking to hit stuff in position, and if not, then just fold. It's very straightforward and boring, but it's a great way to boost your bankroll. I kind of like playing them. I kind of like playing them while playing cash games, just because it sets a time frame for how long I should be playing. Like if a tournament averages like an hour and a half for me, then that's good because an hour and a half is around the time where I start to play my B game. So it's nice. When my tournament's over, I just go ahead and quit cash tables, and it's kind of like an indicator of how I'm doing or when I should quit or whatever. Really a bad flop. Hopefully I turn a queen. Nope. This I'm just gonna fold now. He pots it. This other hand I had twos under the gun, +1. So I just folded that, and that's pretty standard. I see a lot of people not doing that. They'll either limp or raise, which is bad. If you limp, see my post, or actually I don't know if I have that post yet, but I'm gonna make a post on limping. So if it's not out now, wait for it because it's gonna be good. But limping is really, really bad. Raising is bad from this position as well, just because there's so many people that will call. You're like out of position, which sucks, and you're gonna miss the flop more often than not, which also sucks. So it's really just not that profitable. I'm gonna c-bet here against two fish. I really hate c-betting on these types of boards, but I just have so much equity. I can turn a queen, a king, an ace, a heart, or a total brick like this, and I'm just gonna check. Any of those previous cards that I mentioned, you can go ahead and double barrel. I completely whiffed the turn and the river, so it's just check and give up, which is kind of frustrating, but I don't know. That's kind of why I hate stabbing and c-bet bluffing or semi-bluffing against fish, is because they just never fold, and I just don't really like the whole strategy of betting to fold out people who don't fold, because it's just lighting money on fire. I think in a spot like that, I just have enough equity. Even though it's like multi-way, I think it's enough equity where I can profitably do it. It's just very frustrating because I think it's going to be kind of marginal in that specific spot. So he'll probably call down 3 streets with like middle pair or something. This guy 3-bets me, no history. He looks like a nit, easy fold. So, as you've seen so far, a lot of my strategy for these games has just been like isolating with big hands in position. Hands that hit like top pair, good kicker a lot, and top pair, top kicker. I'll also play hands that will hit sets, like obviously pocket pairs. and large pairs are obviously hands that we raise. So it's just a lot of raising in position. Very few times where you limp. In live games, if you're playing like live poker at a 1-3 or 1-2 table, it's a little different, but more or less online, you shouldn't really be limping. And I have another article/video that I am going to come out that's kind of about that. I think that's just really important for people to distinguish. They go back and forth between online and live, and there's just like stuff that you don't do online. There's just stuff that you don't do live. It's kind of important to note those differences. So like ace-8 suited here, I'm isolating all day online. Tournaments, you can't really isolate because people just like limp call all day, and then you've got a really bad stack to pot ratio post flop. People just kind of like go with whatever pair they flop or gut shots or whatever. So it's frustrating, but just play it like a nit in tournaments. It's super easy. Or I guess single table sit and goes. I've got kings here. I'm gonna make it 50 cents instead of 45, just because they're probably not noticing my bet size. Here I'm gonna bet 70 cents. It's I got a lot of equity. I can hit an ace, a diamond, possibly even an 8. So here I pick up top set, which is really nice. So I'm just going to barrel again. Hopefully he has like a 9 or something and just thinks that I'm barreling that card because it's a really good barrel card. With ace-8, this is a really bad card to barrel because it's kind of below a lot of stuff on the board. So he's probably just not going to fold that often. So whatever he calls on the flop, he's probably not folding the turn. So I just check back and get the free card, and I end up binking. So I'm just gonna put him all in. He doesn't have that much money left. I end up hitting the nuts. He might fold the king. Fish kind of just call off with whatever. He folds with 7s, which is kind of goofy, but it is what it is. There are merits for c-betting ace-8, but the thing is, I don't think that there's going to be that many hands that I have outkicked that call. So I'm actually just going to go ahead and check here and do some pot control. And pot control is one of those like really, really controversial subjects that is usually like 90+% of the time misused, but I actually think that this is a decent time to actually pot control. So I'm going to go ahead and save this hand, because I think it's a really good testament to where you could legitimately pot control in microstakes. So now I'm going to call. He bets third pot, and I have top pair. My kicker's alright. It's not like the best thing in the world. It just kind of sucks that I don't think I can really raise ace-8 here. There are some draws, but I don't know. Now that he checks, I'm just going to bet half pot. Hopefully I get looked up by like a 10 or a 9. This guy goes ahead and checks. I'm just going to check down. My 4s have showdown value. Let me go here. So I think he just folded. Yeah, he folded. I'm going to go ahead and save that hand. Hold a manager 2. I think it's like hold a manager 1. You just click this little check box and you can check back later. The 10's a really good card. Probably have the best hand right now. Yep. So he probably just thought his ace high had showdown value. My pair has a showdown value. So I'm just going to check it down. Like if I bet, he's probably just going to fold. So we're about 45 minutes in. I'll try to go for another 15 minutes or so. Hopefully Google doesn't hate me for uploading ridiculously large videos. Large both in terms of file size and length. These are high definition videos. If you haven't figured out already, click the high definition button and you guys can see really well. You guys can see all the stats and stuff. assume everyone knows that. I'll put like little annotations for you guys and stuff, just in case you didn't know. I'm just gonna fold king queen. I'm sorry, queen 10 offsuit. It's one of those hands where I think it's one of those situations where I think you need to shove or fold. Limping is kind of weak. I think I'll get destroyed post flop a lot. I think I'm not the best tournament player in the world, so don't quote me. I go ahead and isolate under the gun, under the gun, and then this guy goes ahead and 3-bets. I'm just gonna give him respect with ace queen offsuit. Like, he 3-bets 3.8%. I don't really think he's gonna be messing around here too often. And ace queen is pretty low in terms of hands that can stand to a 3-bet. It just, people don't 3-bet ace jack suited for value, so I'm not gonna like call and out kick him, and they don't 3-bet like king queen for value that often, stuff like that. So this is one of those spots where if I call, I'm either gonna like flop an ace and get destroyed by ace king, or I'm gonna flop an ace and he's just gonna fold his pocket jacks or queens or whatever. Or I'm not gonna flop an ace or a queen at all, and he's just gonna c-bet and I'm gonna fold a lot, which is gonna be a lot of money. There's 150 in the pot, and I have 1,250. I'm actually gonna min raise this. I'm okay at tournaments, but then there's some spots like this where I'm not 100% sure. This guy just pretty much jams. I'm almost getting 2-1, but like I think he's gonna be shipping a range that crushes the slot. Like if he has king queen or ace jack or ace king, like I'm gonna get pretty destroyed. I need 2-1 or better to call there, but I was getting slightly under 2-1. Here I have gut shot, backdoor flush draw as well. Pretty dry board. Just go ahead and c-bet. It hits my range pretty well. He check calls, which is kind of interesting. I'm not really sure what to make of it. I'm just going to check back and hopefully I hit a 10. I don't know. I think whatever he calls with on the flop is probably not folding the turn. So it's kind of frustrating. Just go ahead and check and try to bink and then whiff and then fold. No big deal. Any more times than not, though, he just folds this flop. This guy ships. I'm just going to fold. My stack's getting a little low now. That's the one bad thing about like min opening and then folding. So yeah, I'm not really sure. If anyone's like a tournament expert, let me know what the best play for that hand was. It might have just been fold pre-flop. Not this hand. This hand. I guess folding pre-flop, you can never go wrong with that. I'm not really sure. Like, I'm okay at sit and goes. Like, I can definitely win a lot of the micro and small stake ones, but there's a lot of stuff that I still have to learn. I'm more just playing it for fun. Eight 9 offsuit takes it down. Nope. Looks like a big hand just went down. Ing Bastard. That's a cool name. Oh my gosh. So they fought flush versus flush, and I actually had one of the flush cards as well, so that's like super cooler. That sucks for the guy with the Jack 3 and diamonds. But, I'm just going to let these guys kind of knock themselves out. They'll just play goofy things like Jack 3 suited and other goofy hands. So now there's 250 in the pot, and I've got King Queen offsuit, which is a fourth of what my chip stack is. I think this is a pretty appropriate place to just go ahead and shove all in. It's gonna suck when like a fish like limp calls with ace 6 offsuit or something goofy, and have me beat. But my hand is really strong and it dominates a lot of people's limping range. Yeah, that's the one thing that's also frustrating about these small and micro stakes sit and goes is that you get 0 fold equity against fish. You can't expect ever to have fold equity, so you have to pretty much have a giant value range, which gets pretty boring if you're running card dead. You can't just like shove any two like you could in some other spots. Again, this is a spot where I wish I had a pop up. Because I want to check out the donk percentage. I guess it doesn't show up in any of those stats. Probably not a spot where I can do anything but fold, but if I see that this guy's donking a lot, I could consider playing back on some flops. King Jack suited under the gun is bad. Just go ahead and fold that. My under the gun range is ridiculously tight. It's pretty much like pocket sevens and higher, and like ace queen and higher. I could raise ace 7. I just feel like I'm gonna get called a lot behind me, given the players that are behind me. I'm just gonna go ahead and fold. It's a little nitty, but I think it's a good fold. These players behind me are a little crazy. And one's the short stack too, so. So here I get ace king in the tournament. I get open shove and a call. The guy that open shoves is a 40-14. The guy that calls is a 44-6. I think I just have to call here. If this was a bubble situation, then I could fold, but I'm short on chips and my hand is the nuts against people. I'm just gonna call the ace king and hopefully I run good. If not, it's all good. Got my money in ahead. Well, not really ahead. Nines are ahead, I guess. A 10, a king, an ace, and I completely whiffed, and surprisingly no one has a spade. And nines win, and I go out in another tournament. So, not doing too good in sit and goes on the site, which is alright, I guess. I've only played 2. But, felt like I was playing pretty well. Hit top pair with ace king against guys who are kind of fishy. Just go ahead and do a standard c bet and get this snap shove, which is pretty LOL. And the call. Okay, someone has a set. Wow. Interesting. This guy, I'm just going to fold right now, so I don't have time to look at his stats. Let me check now. He seems to be 3-betting a lot. I'm not used to the new HUD stats, sorry. Let me check. Reverse steal, 3-bet in the big blind. Oh, okay. 4 out of 8 times he's done a 3-bet. So this is actually a time where I could consider 4-bet bluffing. Let me check out his fold to 4-bet. His fold to 4-bet, he's folded 1 out of 2. So I think that's a good spot to 4-bet bluff, but I didn't check out his stats fast enough. That last hand over here was really interesting, where this guy just open jams. That's a really, really bad play on his part. He's usually not getting called off by anything worse, and he did get called off by something that was worse, but had a lot of equity. The guy had 3, 9, 12. He was about flipping. He was slightly ahead. So essentially, he's flipping against a very few hands, and the vast majority of stuff that gets called, he's just getting destroyed. He did get me off of a chop, which I guess is the one good thing to say about his play, but in general, his play is just really, really, really bad. It's also interesting that I c-bet into to 2 other players, get an open shove, and then the guy calls off with top pair in the flush draw. I think that even though he has a hand that has pretty good equity, I think that's just one of those spots where you should just fold. So let's see who it was. It was World Balance. Go ahead and note that he did that. Also note that he's a fish. Min bet pair of fours. I don't know. I don't even have like a backdoor flush draw. It's kind of an idiot. I'm just gonna fold. I don't really need to get involved with like really marginal spots. I have top pair good kicker here against. Oh, never mind. This is Lee Moley. He's a different guy than that Spez that I was playing against. This Nit goes ahead and check raises. Pretty big. I'm just gonna go ahead and give him some respect. When nits start raising you, you should fold unless you have the nuts. So for this one guy, he flats ace king offsuit pre 100 big blinds deep. Overbet ships ace 8-7 two-tone flop. LOL. Close that. And then this other guy, label a fish as well. I think his call was pretty bad. Facing c-bet into two people and 100 big blind over bet jam on ace 8-7 two-tone. Calls off 85 big blinds with, he had about 85 big blinds I think, ace 4 with nut flush draw. So in the future, if I have a really close spot with that guy, which realistically isn't going to happen that often, but it could happen, it's going to be very nice to have that note, because I'll know that he'll get it in with very marginal hands. So lose passive short stack, min raises under the gun, +1. I'm just going to fold. This guy min raises in middle position. Doesn't really seem that strong. I'm going to go ahead and 3-bet bluff. With this hand, it's a little too weak to go ahead and flat, I think. He folds to 3-bet 67% as well, so I'm just going to turn my hand into a bluff. I'm not sure why I labeled Lee Moley as a fish. He looks kind of like just an okay reg. I flop top pair. Against the fish, I'm just going to c-bet and stack off. And then I turn the nut flush draw as well, so I'm just going to call it off here. Cool. And I win against the fish. So I'm surprised he called out of position with a short stack with 8 high, so I'm going to definitely note that. I assumed he would fold most of those types of hands. Let's see, he had 40-ish big blinds. Or no, he had 50. Somewhere in there. 50 big blind, flats, 3-bet, out of position with 8-7 suited. Check calls middle pair on 9-7. I'm really bad at remembering hands. I have to go back. 9-7-5 two-toned. And jammed 4 off suit turn. Oops. Good to know. He can jam with middle pair. Queen 2 versus Queen 4. Queen 4 got destroyed. And Ace King whiffing, which seems standard. Sorry if it seems like I'm complaining to some of you guys, it's just like goofy stuff, but that's just kind of my way of dealing with the ups and downs of poker. I just kind of like be sarcastic and joke around about it. I don't know. It's just a way of venting out frustration instead of letting it build up. Should probably get some Tommy Angelo coaching, but at the moment don't have enough money going into school. Not tomorrow, but the next day, and saving up for a car. Almost there. If you guys don't know who Tommy Angelo is, Google him. He's like the I was gonna say Greek god, but he's Buddhist. I think he's Buddhist, or at least he practices Buddhist teachings or something. But he's like the poker guru of keeping your head on straight. You know, I don't know how he does it, but he's like super calm all the time, which is awesome for poker. I don't know how good he is at poker, but I mean, if you can play your A game 24/7, I mean, you got a huge edge on a lot of people, I think. Just go ahead and fold. We're just over the hour mark. I'm gonna wait for like one more hand and then just see what happens, and just probably end it there. Fortunately, this is kind of an uneventful session. Not too much going on. I busted out of 2 tournaments, which took me for about a buy-in. I'll just have this ace-4 hand be the last hand. Pretty standard raise. Guys limp in the blinds. It's just, you know, you gotta relentlessly attack them with your entire range, or almost your entire range. They just fold so often. So anyway, I hope you guys like this video. Sorry that not too much happened, and there were like 1 or 2 hands where I just didn't play like 100%, but I explained like what I was doing, took notes, and explained what I think was the right play and why. So I hope you guys at least learned learn something from it. You know, I busted some tournaments, whatever. If you guys like this video, go ahead and subscribe up at the top left of youtube.com here. You know, you can go ahead and subscribe, and you get all of my videos just coming for free to you. You guys can also head over to nitreg.com and sign up there. Completely free, and I come out with content really frequently. It's been 3 days since my last post, and I feel like I've been away forever. But that's only due to technical difficulties on my part. It wasn't just because I wasn't pumping out content. Like, I got a lot of stuff lined up, and after this video I gotta make some more stuff for you guys. But I got a lot of good stuff coming out. Just go ahead and subscribe there. Also, check me out at Twitter. I have a couple of followers now. Twitter.com/nitregpoker, all one word. Yeah, go ahead and check me out. Follow me, whatever you do on. That sounds kind of stalkerish, but I guess like follow me on Twitter, whatever it's called, and you know, I'll say hi, and you know, we'll be Twitter buddies. That being said, this is Nitreg from nitreg.com, and I'll see you guys later.